It's the end of the special session, and state lawmakers are finally headed home. In the final hours, a crucial compromise on highway funding. Now you'll decide its fate. But first, all eyes are on the upcoming election. Water funding is hoping for a win. We take a look at the campaign to push it through.
Now, in-depth coverage of the Texas legislative session. In session, in depth.
They started in January, and Texas lawmakers have finally wrapped up their work. Good morning, I'm Josh Hinkle. Governor Rick Perry kept them there until they hammered out a plan to fund highways in the state. After going into triple overtime, we found the extra effort away from home was starting to take a toll. 206 days is a long time to be away from home. Weekends are out.
I drive it when I have to, but I fly when I can.
But not every lawmaker has that luxury, and Texas is a big state.
Well, all you got to do is come to Austin and try to drive 35 or Mopac to see that we desperately need transportation dollars.
This guy has to drive 320 miles from Midland. This guy has 370 miles from Lubbock. And she has a whopping 580 miles from her home in El Paso.
Because it's about a 9-hour drive.
Marisa Marquez feels the toll transportation problems can take.
The trucks, commerce, business depend largely on Texas roads to get items from one area to the next.
The legislature is aiming for about $1 billion for highways, but TxDOT says it needs $4 billion a year to keep up with the state's population. Marquez District is one of the fastest growing in the state.
And that's why in transportation, this bill and this resolution is so very important.
The legislation they passed has a couple of key changes from the previous version. Here's a closer look. Earlier versions of the bill had the Legislative Budget Board deciding how to spend transportation money. Now that power will go to a select committee of lawmakers. Also, lawmakers added a requirement to pay down debt. Now TxDOT will have to set aside $100 million per year specifically to reduce debt. That's only if you, the voter, says yes in the election in November 2014. Here's what the author of the legislation has to say about that.
It will be hell next session trying to fill that hole. You will see the most onerous ideas put out there because all of a sudden every community across the state of Texas will have been told there's no more money.
Next, we wrap up the special session and look ahead to the election and what is sure to be a competitive campaign season. Jay Root from the Texas Tribune and Mike Ward from the Austin American Statesman join our political panel when In Session, In Depth returns.